we get a piece of paper and a pen, now write down the statement, today is going to be my peaceful day. Write that down. It's very simple. Thank you for that sign. It's very simple, but it's very powerful. Remember, even if we memorize this statement already, because 110 days that I have talked about this, but it's okay. You have to give yourself a chance to do this and this together. This will remind us, because we are training ourselves. Remember, we are training ourselves. We have to start from zero again. So we need to train ourselves to be focused. When our mind is thinking of those words and your hand is writing, stay focused with that. Not just a thinking, a thought, and then go do something else. Then our life gonna be back to normal again, back to the old days again. Now write that down. Today is going to be my peaceful day. Read it over and over with our eyes. Now that our eyes have a job to do too. Instead of looking at the movie, looking at the phone, now looking at those words. And then read it over and over. Something better instead of this, right? And so, read it over and over with our eyes. And then after that, give our mouth a job to do. Instead of saying unwholesome words, hurtful words, now we're just saying, today is going to be my peaceful day. Read it out loud. Say it out loud. To tell the universe that today is going to be my peaceful day so that no one in this world can mess it up. No one except ourselves. We are the only person who can mess our days up. No one else. It doesn't matter what that person said or do. If you stay focused, your day will be peaceful. If you're not mindful enough, you react, you mess up your day. To have a peaceful day is very difficult. Imagine you spend a lot of effort and energy to make your peaceful day, and just one reaction has messed up everything. Then we waste a lot of time and effort and energy. Don't do that anymore. When you about to react, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath before you react. When you feel like, okay, I can't stand this anymore, take a deep breath. Many times as possible. Just take a deep breath and then focus on your breathing again. If you could do that, you will stay calm. And if you have to react, say, sorry, I can't talk right now, I have to go. Leave. Find a better place. Find something better to do. That's it. We change everything. Just doing that. Okay? So all of us are doing this together every day. This world will turn into a better place for all beings to live. That is the power of everybody doing it together. And that is our key. That is the key. That is the message that I wanted to share. So I hope that from today on, we will have a better life, peaceful life, and we will walk together on this journey to change ourselves and change this world to be a better place for our future generations to live. Thank you so much, everyone. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful.
ค่ะพี่
Any question for us?
How do you know which thought to follow, such as your own?
Any thought. Let's say when we meditate, either good or bad thoughts. It doesn't matter how good that thought is, we're not going to follow any. When we are meditating, regardless of good or bad thoughts, we just have to observe that and then come back with the breathing. But during our daily life activities, when we have any type of thought popping up, we should only carry wholesome thoughts. And say, thinking of all the good things, thinking of mindfulness, thinking of loving kindness, thinking of compassion, thinking of helping the others, thinking of a sutta, thinking of a prayer, all those, anything that is wholesome, we should carry on all those thoughts. Live with all those. Because with one thought could bring a lot of joy and peaceful to the world. With one thought also can bring a lot of tears and hurtful things to the world. I came up with just one thought, walk for peace. And I lived with that for 3 years. I didn't tell anybody. I lived with that silently for 3 years. And then every time when I do something is wholesome, I practice meditation, I teach, and I share anything to any people. After that, I make a vow, I make a wish to support my vow by the power of this meritorious deed. I wish that my vow of walking for peace will become reality. That's all I did for the last 3 years. Anything that I do, just make a wish to support that vow. Same, all of us, if we want to change for the better, we want something for our life that is best, just make a vow and do something to support. But when we have unwholesome thoughts, come back with the breathing. Let it go right at that moment. Don't carry it with us. Because unwholesome thought is not helpful. It's just going to drag us down. Okay?
I've been inspired by your leadership. You had a vision, you put a team together, and I think you need to talk about a lot of times leadership help you that would be good for us who are in leadership.
I just the person who came up with this and then walk in front. Sometimes I walk at the back. For me, as a leadership, learn how to listen is very important. We have to learn how to listen to the others. We all lack of patience. We lack of patience a lot. So spend time sitting there to listen to someone to say something, to tell us something. That is very difficult. Because we are rushing. Running out of patience. So when we cannot listen to the others, we can't lead. Even if we lead, it's going to be with ego. Hi, baby. Thank you. You should have offered directly to my hand. So cute. So listening to the other people, even though they're going around and around. You know, when people come to me and talk, after they open their mouth and say a few words, I know what they want to do, and I know what they want to say. But I still sit in there and listen to the whole story, let them vent, let them talk. That is how you help them as well. Just being there for them, listening to them vent, that is the best way to help them, to support them. And we understand how they feel, we understand their situation. That's how we lead them to the right path. So for me, listening and patience is very important for the leadership. There's one person behind me, yes. So after we write that down statement down, we should meditate in the morning. So after writing that down, do all those things, saying to the universe, we should take time to meditate, to focus on our breathing in the morning. In the morning, our mind is still fresh and clear. We should meditate more, okay, because our mind is still fresh. Not a lot of thoughts in it yet. That is the best time. But during the day, we should utilize all those time, free time too. Okay? But in the morning, you should take 1 hour session in the morning. If we don't have much time because we have to go to work, trying to get up early. That is one of the challenges. Sleeping a lot is not helping. Let's say if we sleep 8 hours per night, who is in here saying that we have to sleep at 8 hours? We don't have to, okay? 6 hours, 4 hours, even enough. If you have to sleep at 8 hours, cut off 1 hour. Let's make it 6 or 7, so that you have an hour to do the breathing. Okay? Try that.
Yes, I'm curious to know how this experience walking for 109 days, what did you find most surprising about that experience? And do you feel in any way changed by this?
Yes, sir. For myself and for most of the venerable monks here, we walk already in the past. Right? So walking is not something new for us. But seeing so much people coming out on this mission, on this path, this route, listening to people who come and share with us their stories, their feelings, it really touched our hearts. There's time that people just come to me and say that you have saved my life. That touched my heart deeply because this is just a walk. We didn't do anything much. But somehow it's given them hope that they have lost everything already. Now that just this simple walk gives them hope to stand up again and walk again. And now that they also have a goal, a purpose to live in this world, which is breathing, that they have never listened to it, they have never learned about it or been told, so they don't know what to do. That is why they wanted to commit to suicide. And now that they have the purpose to live, they can just live without breathing. And so for all those people who come to me and talk, and it really tells me a lot in this journey that I have made the right choice to walk. And of course, this is very little that we can do. There's still a lot of people out there that still need help. And they don't have the technology's ability to reach us or to see us. And so I have learned a lot on this journey from the people. And for myself, I believe that breathing in and out every step, this is the first, not the first, the second, but this journey has touched me the most and practiced a lot, which is the mindfulness, the longest walking meditation ever we have. Because meditation, mostly we sit in like this to meditate. And now that we barely have time to sit, at the beginning, yes, every day, nighttime and morning time, we have time to sit, practice together. But then the more we walk, the more people come out, and then the gathering, we don't even have time for ourselves. Even eating, I have to finish my food quickly and go talk, go share. And so The time that we practice mindfulness a lot is to walking. The longest walk-in meditation ever in our life. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
In the quiet spaces of our lives, between the rush of the morning commute and the fatigue of the evening, there is a path we are all walking. It is not necessarily made of asphalt or dirt, and it does not always lead to a specific geographic destination. It is the internal path of our own consciousness, a pilgrimage we undertake with every breath we take and every choice we make. We often think of peace as a destination, a place we will arrive at once our to-do lists are finished, our bank accounts are full, or the world stops being so chaotic. But the profound wisdom shared by Venerable Bhikkhu Panikkara, a spiritual leader who has physically walked hundreds of miles for peace, reminds us that the journey itself is the destination. Peace is not a trophy waiting at the finish line. It is the quality of the step we take right now. The wisdom of the walk for peace is not about covering distance. It is about uncovering the stillness that has been buried beneath the noise of our daily lives. To walk this path, we must be willing to view our lives not as a series of accidents, but as a deliberate training ground where we must, again and again, start from zero. This training begins with a radical act of intention. It is all too easy to wake up and immediately surrender our minds to the autopilot of old habits, checking the phone, worrying about the news, rushing into the anxiety of the day. The Venerable offers a deceptively simple antidote to this morning drift, a piece of paper, a pen, and a declaration. He invites us to write down a single sentence: "Today is going to be my peaceful day." It sounds almost too easy to be effective, yet its power lies in its ability to interrupt the momentum of our unconscious conditioning. We are asked to engage our senses fully in this ritual, to let our hand feel the pen, to let our eyes trace the letters instead of scrolling through social media, and to let our voice speak the words out loud to the universe. This is not mere positive thinking, it is a reclaiming of sovereignty. When we declare that today will be peaceful, we are establishing a boundary. We are reminding ourselves that while we cannot control the traffic, the economy, or the moods of others, we remain the gatekeepers of our own inner state. As the Venerable reminds us, we are often the only ones who truly have the power to mess up our day. By setting this intention before the chaos begins, we anchor ourselves. We tell the world that our peace is not up for negotiation, and we remind our own forgetful hearts that we are training for something higher than mere survival. However, an intention set in the calm of the morning is inevitably tested by the heat of the day. We have all experienced that fragile moment when our resolve shatters. Someone cuts us off in traffic, a colleague speaks dismissively, or a family member pushes a button we didn't know we had. In a split second, the peaceful day we promised ourselves evaporates into a cloud of frustration or anger. The teachings of the walk remind us that peace is expensive, it requires energy and effort to build, yet it can be destroyed by a single, mindless reaction. It is a tragedy of spiritual economics to spend hours building a sanctuary of calm only to burn it down in a moment of reactive heat. The antidote to this destruction is the breath. The breath is our portable sanctuary, the one tool we carry with us everywhere. When the impulse to react rises, when the heat builds in the chest and the sharp words form on the tongue, the instruction is to stop and take a deep breath. And then another, and another. This pause is not passivity. It is an act of supreme strength. It creates a gap between the trigger and the response, a sacred space where we can choose to step back. There is a profound humility in the advice to simply say, "Sorry, I can't talk right now," and walk away to find a better place. It is an admission that we are human, that our peace is precious, and that protecting our state of mind is more important than winning an argument or having the last word. By returning to the breath, we stop the cycle of violence within ourselves before it can spill out into the world. As we learn to master our immediate reactions, the practice deepens into a gardening of the mind. We begin to understand that our internal landscape is constantly growing, and we must decide what we water. In the strict discipline of formal meditation, we might observe all thoughts, good and bad, without attachment. But in the flow of daily life, the Venerable advises a more active approach. We must become curators of our own consciousness. We are encouraged to carry only wholesome thoughts, thoughts of loving kindness, compassion, and gratitude, while gently but firmly dropping the thoughts that drag us down. It is a pragmatic approach to mental hygiene. Why carry a heavy load of resentment or worry when it serves no purpose but to exhaust us? We are invited to fill our minds with thoughts of helping others, with prayers, with visions of goodness. This is not about denying the darkness of the world, but about recognizing that one wholesome thought can bring joy to the world, just as one hateful thought can bring tears. We are the architects of our own experience. If a thought does not serve the peace we have promised ourselves, we are under no obligation to entertain it. We can acknowledge it, breathe through it, and let it go, returning our attention to the light we wish to grow. This cultivation of the mind finds its most powerful expression in the spiritual technology of the vow. We live in a culture of instant gratification, where we announce our goals on social media before we have even taken the first step. Yet, there is a tremendous power in silence and incubation. The Venerable shares his own experience of holding the vision of the walk for peace silently in his heart for 3 full years before taking a single step on the road. He nurtured this seed of intention in the dark, protecting it from the skepticism of others and the dissipation of his own energy. During those years, every good deed, every meditation, and every act of kindness was mentally dedicated to this hidden vow. By the power of this meritorious deed, he would whisper to himself, "May my vow become reality." This teaches us patience and the long game of spiritual practice. It suggests that if we want to change our lives or the world, we must be willing to hold a vision with the tenderness of a parent holding a child, feeding it with our daily actions long before it is ready to be born. It reminds us that our secret hopes are not fantasies, they are blueprints waiting for the energy of our merit, our accumulated goodness, to bring them to life. When we have stabilized our own peace and nurtured our own vows, we are finally ready to lead and serve others. But true leadership, as revealed on the long road, is not about shouting orders from the front, it is often about walking at the back and listening. In our hurried world, we are starving for patience. We rush through conversations, finishing other people's sentences, eager to offer advice or judgment. We lack the patience to simply sit and witness another person's humanity. The instruction here is to revolutionize our relationships through the art of deep listening. Even when we know what someone is going to say, even when they are going around in circles, the act of sitting with them and letting them empty their heart is a profound service. It is how we heal one another. When we listen without an agenda, we dissolve our ego and allow the other person to feel seen and understood. This is the essence of compassionate leadership. It is the understanding that we cannot lead anyone to the right path if we do not first understand where they are standing. By slowing down and offering the gift of our presence, we transform from mere occupants of a shared space into healers for one another, proving that patience is not just a virtue, but a form of love. Ultimately, this journey of breath, intention, and listening leads us to the most fundamental truth of all, the simple miracle of being alive. The Walk for Peace has shown that sometimes, the simple act of witnessing someone else's commitment to peace can save a life. There are stories from the road of individuals who had lost all hope, who were on the brink of ending their own lives because they saw no purpose in their suffering. Yet, upon seeing the walkers, people stripping life down to the basics of putting one foot in front of the other, they found a reason to stand up again. They discovered that the purpose of life is not found in grand achievements or material success, but in the breath itself. To breathe is enough. To walk is enough. This, longest walking meditation, strips away the complexities that drive us to despair and returns us to the primal joy of existence. It teaches us that as long as we are breathing, there is hope. We are reminded that our lives are interconnected in ways we cannot see. Our own commitment to peace, our own choice to keep walking, might be the very thing that gives hope to a stranger we will never meet. We walk not just for ourselves, but to hold the space of hope open for those who have temporarily lost their way. As we conclude this reflection, we realize that the Walk for Peace is not an event that ends, it is a way of living that begins anew each morning. We are all walking together on this journey, regardless of our background or beliefs. The world changes not through grand, sweeping policies, but through the cumulative power of individuals deciding, day after day, to be peaceful. It changes when we choose to write that note in the morning, when we choose to breathe instead of react, when we choose to listen instead of shout. We are building a legacy for the future generations, creating a world where peace is not a myth, but a practiced reality. So, let us make the vow today. Let us train ourselves with the diligence of those who know that every step matters. Let us walk together, breathing in and breathing out, transforming ourselves to transform the world, one peaceful day at a time. The road is long, but we do not walk it alone, and with every mindful step, we are already home.